Hey guys, welcome back to the second half. Things are a lot better than I thought they would be. I am sort of pessimistic, and I was playing pessimistically throughout this match.
Oh my
But look
goodness,
at
his
that.
dude's still out. That's probably the best thing possible for us.
Coming into the second half, I see that. I see the fact that I'm up 1-0, and I've got a smile on my face. I'm feeling a lot better about life.
High kick is The ball is very, very close, which is very helpful for him, especially with the high kick. But he doesn't pick it up, so whatever.
So we are now finally getting that fresh start that I have been looking for the entire first half, where I can now have all my zombies taking the hits and all of my good players in a position to stop the slow death march of the orc offense.
Except it's even better than a fresh start because we have a touchdown already.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. It's also definitely not what I was expecting after how that game started.
Yeah, neither was I as I was playing it. It was I was getting a little nervous, and then all of a sudden, the surf pulls me out of a terrible situation, and he makes one unfortunate decision, and I make a mad dash for the end zone.
Yeah, that's often how it goes. Is that just like it didn't even seem like such a misplay at the time. I imagine it was just we're gonna run him down. Oh, and he burns a reroll early on.
He chooses to blitz a zombie so I left all of my valuable squishier better targets for blitzing behind the giant wall of players, and he chooses to go after a zombie. Unfortunately for him, having to use a reroll in the process and not really getting much benefit out of it.
Yeah, it's not great.
So here's sort of standard fare for orc offenses. He's going to make a giant wall of. He's going to make a big old cage around the ball, and then try to just go for the normal boring ass pickup.
He also has plenty of guard and plenty of strength 4. So you can see that he's basically just got a wall of strength 4 black orcs sitting there, and all of his players there in the back crowding around the ball with their fingers crossed.
And frankly, especially this early on, I'm kind of okay with the very, very heavy cage situation that he has going. Because if you look at the actual front where the actual battle is happening, it is 4 black orcs against my entire team. And I at least have a little bit of time to establish myself here a little bit.
Additionally, especially with his the fact that he didn't make his cage out of black orcs is kind of interesting. Because it means that his guard is all tied up over there, and that means that you can easily get favorable matches against his black orcs. Like, for example, this thing where you claw a dude.
So here, I don't really have an exit strategy.
That did not.
I considered taking the push to try to get another block, and then so that way I have a way out. But I'm just going to sort of have to make do with what I've got.
Something notable is that here we're basically cutting the entire field in half against him. So notice that he's got all his faster, less strengthy players over by the ball. And then he's got his slower, actual strong players, his black orcs, over on the left side, away from the ball. Because they're all tied up, it's very hard for him to bring the black orcs to the ball. So he has to pretty much bring the ball to them, and that really limits his options because of where he's set up.
It also forces him to, rather than push down the field with his cage like he would like, it forces him to do a little maneuvering, and for every turn that he spends shuffling around his cage, that is another turn that I am keeping him from scoring, and that is another turn that brings me closer to the boring, slow, grinding 1-0 victory that I am at this point aiming for.
It's not quite as dire as the situation that we had in the very first match.
He gets a good shot on my wolf despite everything else I could do, and of course KO.
Of course, that's how this... Welcome to Blood Bowl.
The veteran Blood Bowl players immediately now recognize that wolf is going to be gone for the rest of the match.
Yes.
Because if orcs have it their way, they're going to walk in that ball on their turn 16. Maybe, I don't foresee him trying to score fast and then score again, because of how high movement I am, but for all intents and purposes, let's go ahead and forget the wolf exists.
But even if we were going to get it back, the real problem is that he's out for the entire drive here. And this is the crucial drive. because
This is the drive I would like him to be here.
Yes, we have to stop the Orcs here because it's very, very unlikely that we're actually going to get another score, that he's going to, like, even be able to score in time for us to be able to score. But he's making an entire lateral move with his cage here, which, this is, if you're a guy that plays with a cage, this is probably the moment that you dread most.
Yeah.
Is when you just have to not make any forward progress. You just have to go, well, crap.
That's great for me.
That's
unfortunately, Frankencastle.
No,
fucking let me say, I'm pretty sure Frankencastle has been KO'd 5 times in 3 matches. Someone correct me on that, but motherfucker, come on.
I think he
Stay
got
up,
KO'd
please.
Twice in the first match.
I'm pretty sure he got KO'd twice in the first match. He got KO'd at least once every single match. That is 2 in this match, so he has at least 4 or 5 under his belt.
Okay.
So here's where we start to get into what the fun that I have playing Blood Bowl, which is sort of the mind games, or the sort of playing against your opponent and trying to move your opponent in a way that you want him to move. So I'm going to go pretty aggressively over to the left side. Can you imagine why I would want to go aggressively to the left?
Because now he has to go back toward the right. And
yes!
That's just sad. Also, I'd like to note that those are all of his Black Orcs. Those are all his strong players, and we're keeping them tied up or on the pitch with 2 zombies and 2 flesh golems, which means that they basically have 0 impact on this match.
And I have a lot of players in this little ball, but because I am faster and I have that agility 3 and a couple players to help sort of knock my team free, I can pretty easily get out of here. And so this is sort of going to be a crucial juncture for him. This is where he's going to decide, do I want to continue moving the cage down slowly, or do I want to go back to the right? You can see he's spending some time thinking about his next move.
I'd also like to note that the positioning of Bone Cruncher McGraw is really great. And this is terrible. This is terrible.
This is the
This is the second turn in a row where all he's done is move from one side to the other.
This is the Blood Bowl walk of shame, folks.
He just has to go, well, my cage is stopped. Better go run in the other direction.
I'm pretty sure that's the exact same spot he was in.
It is. He's moved 5 squares to the left and then 5 squares back to the right. Meanwhile, his Black Orcs have moved back and formed into an even tighter ball of sadness.
And pretty much all of my players are in a position to, again, aggressively attack the right side and keep him... Oh, that's right, he totally throws a -2 dice block.
Oh.
He has block, I don't. So he has pretty good odds. He basically has to gamble that he's not going to roll a skull on one of his 2 punches.
Beef Slab.
And Beef Slab is the recipient of a successful -2 dice block. The first -2 dice block in this LP, and the first successful one.
The positioning is still really, really bad for him, though, because just right here, I mean, I probably would have moved White Power over a square too, just to completely close that area off. But really,
I'm gonna bookend it with Dr. White.
And now we're back in the position where, and because we're pressing his Black Orcs backwards.
Oh yeah, this is a thing that you don't want.
Now he can't even move to the left anymore. He can't just
watch this
go to
one
the
DV.
Left.
Not even scared.
Not even scared. Now we're just shoving down players into awkward positions. So now he has to run his cage backwards or try very, very hard to blast through the whites and the flesh golem.
This is a fun, entertaining 1-2 shuffle. And this is working pretty much exactly to plan. All of my zombies are in the place to take the hits. All of my whites, he can choose to get up in my whites, but that means that he leaves. He would need a couple players to get over there, and that would weaken his cage, which can only serve in my benefit.
And it's always sad when you have to rub your cage next to the opponent's players, because then that just is the end of the cage. Oh, hey.
Failed blocks.
Here, the funny thing is that he'll probably take the both down just because he can't move his cage anyway.
Oh god, I hope he takes the both down.
He doesn't. He does!
He does! And guess who gets KO'd? Not me!
Not me.
Woohoo!
Johnny Rotten is a hero, unlike Frankencastle.
Nuremberger King was a, correct me if I'm wrong, but he is a Black Orc.
Oh,
yes,
he is.
He does not have He does not have block, but he is a black orc, and that is one more.
This is like the nightmare scenario for any orc player. He cannot move forward. He's lost. He's down 2 players, and now we just kind of tighten the noose. We can get a really, really good screen up, and then we can just rub his dudes with zombies and force him to make blocks.
I'm loving it
at
this point.
Also,
oh, and that's a fast food reference. Oh shit! Did I just do that?
Oh no!
Oh shit! I am loving it.
I don't even.
Oh, someone kill me! Fuck.
That was legitimately awful.
Yeah,
wasn't great.
So I'm gonna get a little aggressive on his cage. Not too aggressive, but aggressive enough to make him not want to move down the sideline. Look at this! Look at this fucking mess.
Oh, this is like the worst. Remember how we were talking about the trash compactor in the first video? This is the end game of the trash compactor. He has He has 9 players on the pitch, but they're in this tight little fist that just can't do anything. And it's just. And the thing is that now it's his turn 13, so he only has 4 turns left to come all the way down the pitch. And
the question is he going to choose to skitter past the beef slap and make a desperate sideline cage, or is he going to resign himself to the 1-2 shuffle and move back over to the left? We are all sitting on the edge of our seats.
The worst part here is that because our wolf is out, the sideline is actually not as dangerous as it could be. If our wolf was still here, those 2 squares on the side would basically be lava. You can't do that. You can't side cage against the frenzy without making like a 2-deep cage, like a recursive cage. Cageception, if you will.
Knocking out one of his black orcs and one of his players with guard is great, but unfortunately I've also lost my werewolf, so while the situation may seem great for me, it may seem like I have been pretty much having my way with these orcs, he is still a better team than I am, and he could still very easily get up here and go score. Because you can see, and that is perfect.
Oh, beautiful.
That is golden.
Now he's just mad.
Blocks.
Like, you can't be happy. Look at you talking shit in the fucking chat. You bitch.
Oh, it's
you
beautiful.
Bitch.
And I was complaining like a little baby earlier.
You whiny little fuck.
Yeah. I totally accept that judgment.
Oh,
here's another very
That's
angry.
That's a spite foul. If
I've
I've ever seen one.
Oh yeah.
That is absolutely a spite. Was that a zombie?
Yes. No. That was
White Power?
That was White Power. Yeah.
Oh. There's your block coming into play, but like, notice how Beef Slab is just still there. And he would have had to break up his cage in order to get a 2DB on Beef Slab.
And he chooses to use his blitz laterally instead of vertically, which means that
his only move is to the left.
Yeah, the 1-2 shuffle.
And note that we have the ghoul and one of our whites still free. I can move my guy's butt to where exactly, and that's pretty much.
If he's asking me a question, I'm going to answer it the way I see fit.
You bitch! I can't even.
Fuck orcs. Fuck orcs.
Oh my god. That's true, he is playing orcs, he deserves it. But he omens LOS'd at least. He chose not to move, he's just like resigned himself to hoping that like all of your players have heart attacks. That's his only option. And it's not happening apparently. And now we just like kick a dude into his cage. And now we are ending. This is the end game of the cage fucking.
Yep. I'm going to rough up his cage. I'm not going to choose to get up and stand next to his ball carrier, because that just means that Dr. White could easily get, pretty much just knocked and pinned up against the sideline. And I don't want that. I want my players to be in a position to stop any last-minute desperate attempt he has.
And another thing to note is that if you just rub too many people against him, then there's always the potential that the same thing that happened to the wolves, or not the wolves, to the elves last time, can happen here, where he just like kills 4 of your players and all of a sudden the pitch is wide open and he just runs down. Having Dr. White over there makes it not great.
but that's a sad, unfortunate move that he has to move 2 squares backwards.
Now he's no longer like scoring. He has already ruled out scoring. All he's trying to do is just Giga Bunker and pray to God that you don't like get someone back there to punch his dude.
Yeah. The win here looks pretty much sealed. I'd like to point out that I haven't had to use a reroll yet, mostly because I haven't had to roll a lot of dice, and that's great for me because the less dice I roll, the less I can screw things up.
You bitch. I'm gonna call out you being a bitch in chat for the rest of the video.
Oh, it's so fun. It's so great. The great vindication after that nightmare of a first half for me, which started out as a huge headache, but
the nightmare of a first half in which you scored.
Well,
shut up.
It was emotionally draining.
Oh, Beef Slap took a stun. That's the worst thing that has happened to you all half.
Look at this though.
And now he's just spite fouling you.
Oh, that sound was the sound of doubles. So he rolled a 6/6 on his armor break, and in that case he would normally get ejected, but the bribe roll is triggered, and he successfully gets to bribe the referee, and the referee turns away and doesn't see that foul happen. That blatant violation of the rules.
Yeah, like just us punching the shit out of each other isn't.
Yep.
But as soon as you involve the boot, now I can't have that. But
in Blood Bowl we are arbiters of the rules. We abide by the rules heavily.
Absolutely. Because otherwise that little goblin bastard behind the ball carrier will wag his little goblin finger at you.
Yep. So now that I see that it's turn 14, and he has essentially moved backwards from the start.
He literally can't score anymore. There's no one in scoring range. He can't run far enough to score, like literally. So I'm basically just going to sort of now it's
try to wait this one out.
Damage control. We just don't want to get killed because we probably can't score because his defense is good enough. He definitely can't score. So now his only mission right now is just to injure our players out of spite, which I can't blame him because this has been a pretty shitty game, but, like, come on.
I mean, look at how little I had to move on that turn. I think I moved the Flesh Prince 1 square over. I did a fun little block, and I moved a zombie, and that was it. Like, I was looking at this board, I was like, what else can I do? Let me think, and I was just like, no, nothing. I'm happy with this. I'm okay with this.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he's gonna go step on White Power again.
Mm-hmm.
And the stepping is intensifying. He's getting more and more people around there.
Specifically in the case of fouling, you can get assists to try to break that. So if it's like an armor value 8 player, which we are, whatever roll you make for each player who's unmarked, like a guard, sort of. So it's sort of like it's basically like guard assists. You can try to break that armor, and you get positive assists for each unmarked player. So in this case, he's going to get what 1, 2, 3, 4 assists on 5 assists now on that.
He'll probably get
punch.
6. Oh goodness.
Yes. No.
That
yes.
big
no.
shiny sound. That's the sound of regeneration succeeding. Yes. So that's the first cast of the team, and that would have been White Power out for a game. Instead, he just kind of makes the walk of shame where he wanders off into the casualty box to presumably sit there and think about what he's done.
If you blinked, you would have saw the red cross pop up. But luckily, because we have regen on a lot of our players, that's a 4+ roll, so that's a coin flip. In this case, it would have been a miss next game. He would have been out for the next game, which would have been lamentable for sure, but it wouldn't have been the end of the world because he would have been back immediately after that.
Yeah.
But because regen is a great skill, we have regen powers. So Mr. What was that? That was White Power. White Power is going to be back.
Yes.
For sure.
Absolutely. So another thing to note is that because there are no block dice and strength is not a factor in fouling, assists in fouls do not add they add strength to the foul. They add an extra boot, and for every assist in the foul, you add +1 to the armor break roll. So if it normally would have been armor value 8, but when you have 5 assists, it's effectively armor value 3. That breaks it on a 4+, so that's pretty...
Which is basically guaranteed.
Yeah, this is Blood Bowl. Nothing is basically guaranteed.
Well, sure. So, I think at this point Magnetic North is going to live and die by the Super Cage. he knows that he can't win. I know that he can't win. At this point, we're just waiting. We're just waiting the clock out.
We just know that he wants to step on our players, so we're taking our players and moving them very far away.
To quote him, I believe he says, complete the cage to complete my shame." I think he said. Oh, here, let's see. To complete my humiliation. That's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're just gonna get as many of our players away from orcs as best we can.
Yeah. I do kind of feel bad, because, like, this wasn't exactly an engaging half. It was just kind of, like, it was the nightmare of cages. Your cage goes really, really slowly, and then you just kind of die. Like, that's it.
It was a kind of boring match, or kind of boring half for the orcs, but I do think it was a pretty good example. Oh, note again that I haven't had to use a reroll, but I think it was a pretty good example of how to stop the cage, how to combat the orcs, and that is, unfortunately, because they were being boring, you have to be equally boring and be aggressively boring by running at their cage and trying to not necessarily directly attack the cage, because that's a death wish, but to force the cage to either break apart by its own will, to let them run down. And also here you can see he's going to run. He's just going to try to get a vanity pass. I believe that was a blitzer who had the ball.
Yes.
And with that he gets his 6th star player point on that blitzer, and he gets a level up.
At least he gets something out of this game.
Yep. Everybody wins, right?
Well, we win.
The viewer doesn't win because this match was kind of boring.
No, the viewer absolutely wins.
The team wins.
Graced with our presence.
One thing we totally didn't even talk about is Santos Van Hammerstein, when he ran that ball in. That was his 2nd touchdown, and so that was 6 star player points. So that means Santos Van Hammerstein has a level, ladies and gentlemen.
Woo! That means more democracy.
Yep. Unfortunately, assuming a normal level, there's only one choice.
Well,
the choice has pretty much already been decided, but I feel like if I say that, there's going to be a bunch of people coming out of the woodworks to tell me that that's not true and to give him, I don't know, sneaky get or something dumb. But we'll see.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Democracy.
Yep.
Let's do that thing. Let's do that thing where we give a player a skill by committee. It worked for presumably 3 people.
Rwendy's, no!
That was the last play of the game.
That was his last move.
Oh, that was his last play of the game. That's just like, that sums it up. Black Orc stands up, Black Orc steps over, Black Orc falls down. That was it.
So at this point, I'm basically just going to do stuff because I have 4 rerolls, and I feel bad about the fact that I haven't had to use any because I haven't had to throw blocks or like roll dice or anything.
You just want to use a reroll.
But you know what? At the back of my mind, I was thinking about I could probably. Nah, it's fine.
Yes.
I want this guy down because I have a better chance of getting a lot of players around to do an assist and maybe do that thing that he's been doing to me the whole match.
Oh man, you bitch.
I want to sneak in a turn 16 spite foul because I am fun.
That's not how this works.
That's how that works, right? I didn't re-roll that. I could have. Who cares? Whatever. So let's go.
16
Let's go foul.
Spite foul. Don't do this.
What's gonna happen? KO.
You bitch.
Yes.
You bitch.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's the match. That's the first win.
Wow.
We win. Yes.
Yes. So we're no longer miserable failures.
Yep. We get enough money to afford. Oh, I get an achievement. I get an achievement for winning a match without completing a pass, which I've done many, many times. I don't know why Cyanide's kind of messed up. Anyway, let's see who got the MVP. It's Beef Slab, and he levels up!
Yes!
That's another level!
That means he's got like one of those little testicle coil-looking things on his shoulder, which is awesome.
Rwendy's probably the best Black Orc, gets the MVP. So let's go see what our 2 levels were. First up is... let's see who I go for first. Probably Beef Slab. Yep.
Yes.
Beef Slab gets normal skills, so that is going to be general and strength.
There are a couple
pointing
different
that out.
Options here. I'll go over them in my post when we.
Additionally, we have the Ghoul, general and agility, and so we also have the option to buy the Wolf, and that is going to be the match. So I'll see you guys next time.